Drama. Summoner's Choice 2024 drama. As I did say, I mean, look, for me personally, I wanted Blob or Shriek to go through to the final two. But look, and this is what I said, like, we just don't know, and this point is proved again. We just don't know how people are voting in the actual game itself. So for me, oh, by the way, just kind of bring everybody up to speed with what I'm talking about, because you're probably not kind of familiar. Black Tarantula and Shathra are the final two champions that you can vote for in the final round, which begins on the 2nd of February. Excuse me, 2nd of February. I thought this would be announced tomorrow or Friday. Got the hiccup, sorry. Anyway, look. As I said, we just don't know where people are voting. Like, for me, my voting habits are, if it loads, my voting habits were very much, first of all, it was Ruby Thursday, because I wanted to see that. But then again, it was very much 3 loads of votes in total for Blob. Most of it went for Shriek. As a big mutant fan, I kind of like the idea of having 2 mutants have an opportunity or be close to having an opportunity to come into the game. But sadly, that was not the case. And even when, and this is the problem, isn't it? I think next time, I think a lot of us will kind of learn our lessons. If there's people out there, content creators as well, that are starting polls, and especially we're starting polls on the forum, a lot of the time, that's never going to be the reflection of where the voting will be. Yes, Quicksilver was a bit of an anomaly in all of this, and yes, things like Hercules and Omega Sentinel again are one of these weird situations of anything can really happen. And you know, Command Mike said that even up to a certain point, Omega Sentinel was winning until Hercules took over and won. So it's been very surprising. As I said, for me, mutants all the way, those are the things I'm most interested in, and Blob and Shriek. But it looked like the community voted in a different way and went more Black Tarantula and Shathra. I think because the champion is a mystic based champion, maybe Shathra because the mystic line isn't as stacked, and I think it would be nice to see some more stand out, mystics come into the fray. And hopefully this is a good champion. Hopefully that's where they can build something that can do stuff like Necropolis or do any endgame content. Because that's something I'd like to see more of. Is new champions come in that are built for endgame content. Built in the same way that, say, Aegon is. Or, yeah, just these champions that can do a lot of damage and be quite, helpful in those regard. But again, as I said, this was very surprising. Some extra bits of info on this one is from Command Mike, who said that, FYI, Blob wasn't even in first place in the first round. This is why you've got to vote. So again, I don't know if people just didn't come out to vote or didn't go to vote in any kind of way. As I said, like for me, I voted more Ruby Thursday in the first lot, and in the second lot, I went very much kind of like heavy into Blob and Shriek. Maybe I should have put all 4 votes into Blob. Maybe that would have been it. But those were just 2 champions that I particularly wanted to see created from their character. I guess that is a big surprise, isn't it? And again, we could point out those particular, because I did see there was a content creator that had a poll running, a community tab poll running, and it was like 7k votes, and predominantly it was Blob. But here's the thing, it may not be and reflect the rest of the community. You might have you might align to one content creator's opinion, but then when it comes to, say, the wider community, expect the unexpected. And that's something I did mention. I did think Blob would win, but I did also say expect the unexpected, and also look out for what's happened in the past. So look, for those that lost out, and this is the thing, sometimes, yeah, I mean, as Marathon says, I'm quite surprised Blob got bumped. Black Tarantula all the way. So again, big surprises. There's no cosmics in it as well, which again is pretty good. Tell me it's either fake or rigged. There's no way of Blob getting out of the final polls. There's no literal ways. He is popular by a mile compared to others in the poll. How does this even happen? Well, and again, that's just down to the voting. Like, we don't know how everyone votes. You might be watching this going, I voted Blob. A lot of people you speak to will kind of, I voted Blob, 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 blob. But then there might be people that just don't want to talk to you and voted a different way. This is why it's so surprising when people say that this game is 97% free to play. And you might be like, well, I know plenty of people that spend. Well, they're content creators. Well, there's only a small amount of content creators versus hundreds of thousands of players. And a lot of players do play this game. So, look, this is the thing, isn't it? Expect the unexpected. And I'm going to learn my lesson now. Next year, when it's the Summoner's Choice 2025, I'll definitely have to say to myself and say to you all, look, expect the unexpected, because the Blob situation of last year and the Omega Sentinel situation of 2021, I think it was. Surprising. It's very surprising. We've got a lot of things to go over news-wise today and through tomorrow, but there needs to be a bit of kind of like, you need to take a bit of positivity from all this. And even though it's quite funny to see this player, but this is what, Pyx Macaco. I think we've had this player kind of like we've mentioned him on the in videos before. No drama, Blob 1, please rate my future MCOC dream team. Well, it's going to take a bit longer than that. To be honest, it's not as bad. I think this is the thing, it's not as bad. And Misty K had a great point on this, saying, for Blob lovers, even with the loss, Kabam won't pass on the opportunity down the line to add him. We've had Omega Sentinel, Morbius, now Ironheart, Danny Moonstar, Kushala, Bullseye, Zemo and White Tiger. And that's an excellent point. So there's no point to feel downtrodden if you're like, well, I don't want any of these two champions. It's up to you who you vote for, but as I said, like maybe something to do like class numbers. And that's the interesting thing. I used to do this kind of series once every quarter where I looked at the amount of, say, all the classes like Mystic. Mystic always came out lower. I might revitalize, or not revitalize, but I might resurrect that video series because it did help to kind of get an idea. I'm actually trying to find my spreadsheet on it right now, which I don't know where I've got so many spreadsheets I've worked on for this game. It's just unreal. But look, there we go. So I've actually just found that particular spreadsheet, which is this data that I'm going to talk about is relevant as of the 31st of May 2023. So it's a bit old, but I think that it's important to go over, and I will probably update it at a later stage just to give you a bit of an idea to what's going on, because this is old. Oh no, it's actually not. It's relevant as of June 2023, because I can imagine I made it in May and we had announcements for 2 champions in June. So at least back then there was 46 to Cosmic, 41 to Mutant, 41 to Science, 38 to Mystic, and then we got 42 to Skill and 41 to Tech. So at the time back in June, and again, what we can do is we can actually triangulate right now about how many of extra, champions we need for that particular line of kind of like more Mystic. So we could actually need Shathra more than you might know. So since that point, we've added 1 in Kindred, 2 in Werewolf by Night, 3 if you count Guillotine Deathless, and 4 if you count White Tiger into that. So there's 4 additions right there, therefore bumping us up to 42. But of course, the other thing you need to bear in mind is going, that's great, we went up to 42, but it's still lacking in different areas, because it's like, well, then we've had additions to other classes, and because we've had additions to other classes, again, that skews things, because then there's more added to that. Like, well, except for Mutant. Mutant's actually lacking now. I'll do a full video about this. I don't want to rabbit on about stuff, and then we're kind of like, look, we need to be kind of covering this in a full video because things have changed, things have added in. Because this is all about the fact that we're down to our last 2. Who will you be voting for? I mean, you can put it in the comment section, but do bear in mind it'll probably be like, hey, I don't know if I should believe what's in the comments because it might stack up correctly, or will it? Or won't it? We'll have to see. Thanks for watching this video, and we've got so many more bits of news to go over today before I get into some guides, which I'll probably have to post and put out tomorrow. In any case, thank you very much for watching this video. I'll see you all soon. Bye-bye.